Moving on now, in a sweeping and sharply worded judgment, the Supreme Court has delivered one of its strongest observations yet on the stray dog crisis across the country. Top Court has refused to dilute its earlier directions on stray dog management and openly pulled up states, civic bodies and authorities for years of pronounced inaction, is what they call it. The court said repeated dog bite incidents involving children, elderly citizens and even international travelers show a grave inadequacy in governance and implementation. In some dramatic observations, the bench said that the Constitution does not envisage a society where citizens survive at the mercy of physical strength and chance. Supreme Court has now backed stricter enforcement, warned states of contempt action and ordered nationwide compliance measures on sterilization, vaccination as well as public safety. Remember, this is a case that started last year after Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance of rising stray dog attacks as well as failures in stray animal management across the country. The issue exploded nationally after Justices J.B. Pardiwala and R. Mahadevan directed Delhi authorities to round up and shelter stray dogs, triggering protests from animal rights groups. The matter later went before a new three-judge bench led by Justice Vikram Nath, which shifted focus towards sterilization, vaccination and implementation of animal birth control rules. But on the 7th of November last year, the courts once again issued sweeping interim directions, ordering removal of stray dogs from highways, schools and hospitals, while also directing fencing around institutions. Multiple petitions challenged those directions, and today the Supreme Court has dismissed those challenges while upholding its broader framework. The court said stray dog attacks have reached deeply disturbing proportions and warned that authorities cannot continue functioning without accountability. So let's sum up the basic observations that were put forth by the Supreme Court while dismissing all those petitions against its previous verdict. It said you must pick up strays from all districts, vaccinate and leave them back in the same place so that they don't pose a threat to those around them. Rabid dogs shall not be released is also an observation. Euthanasia of rabid dogs is allowed is what the Supreme Court has said in its verdict today. Feeding strays is prohibited in public places. Now, this is one of those actions that creates a lot of controversy, leads to a lot of feud between dog lovers and the other people. Feeding is allowed only in designated areas. You cannot just start feeding stray dogs at any place inside societies and otherwise, because that can pose threat to other people. Stray menace is at alarming proportions. This has been underlined by the apex court. Situation demands immediate intervention because we've seen multiple instances where small kids, elderly people have all been attacked by stray dogs. Right to dignity also includes right to move freely, something that stands good for all citizens of this country. Now, in another major observation, the court says any non-compliance with any of the other observations will also be viewed very seriously. These are some of the key observations that have been given by the court in its verdict. Now, the Supreme Court also came down heavily on the states. Why? Because according to them, they have failed to build adequate infrastructure despite the animal birth control framework being in place since 2001. The bench said sterilization and vaccination drives lacked planning, depth and seriousness. According to the court, had governments acted with due foresight, the current crisis would never have reached this particular stage. Now, while hearing the matter, the Supreme Court referred to shocking figures and incidents from across the country to highlight the scale of crisis. Let's take a look at those instances. At IGI Airport in Delhi, 31 dog bite cases have been reported. This was also brought to the cognizance of the court, and court has mentioned this incident. If we could move further, in Sri Ganganagar in Rajasthan, almost 1,500 dog bite cases have taken place in 3 months. Again, in Udaipur in Rajasthan, 1,700 dog bite cases in 2026, which is, we are in the 5th month of 2026 as of now. In Tamil Nadu, look at the number. In 2026, so far, just not even 6 months of this year have passed, 2.4 lakh cases have been reported. By March 2026, 34 deaths and 71,000 cases have been reported when it comes to the deaths related to dog bites. Now let's talk about some other data set. Now this is about stray dog menace and how Top Court has pulled up the states. We just told you how states have been found wanting in implementation of a framework that has been in place for 25 years now. They had told the states improve infrastructure for dealing with dog bite cases. Fully functional ABC centers should be there in every district. Effective implementation must be ensured. States will also have to follow orders in letter and spirit. States cannot remain passive spectators, especially states where lakhs of such incidents have been reported. So very, very crucial directions coming in from the Supreme Court. Now we'll have to see whether states implement these directions or not. We'll keep tracking developments, taking a very quick breather for now.